Hello, everybody. It is the Batfan, and I'm back, just like NFL football is. So, for everybody that was, excited about watching number one and number two this week, I'm pretty sure you were very disappointed. And, number three wasn't even there. So, you know, you're probably disappointed, but what can I say? I'm going to talk about them. Also going to talk about fantasy value for some players and so forth. Uh, so let's go start off with the number one overall pick. Boom. Golf. Well, you looked exactly how I thought you would. He was very, very uncomfortable behind the center, as you can see. A lot of missteps and footwork that needs to be worked on. But that's only gonna get better with playing time. So he needs to play as much as possible in the preseason, because just doing it in practice and then doing it in the game is two different things. He needs to work on his footwork and be dedicated to that. And the guy's got the tools, but he just I don't know about how smart he is, because he didn't know where the sun rose from, because I have no idea. I guess they don't teach that in school anymore. But Hard Knocks, that's some 7 and 9 shit. But if you watch Hard Knocks, it's good. But he didn't really disappoint, because that's what I expected from him, and that's what I'm going to expect. I think his whole rookie year he should ride the bench, unless they're out of the playoff hunt. Then give the guy some playing time, because he's not pro ready yet. He didn't come out of college pro ready. You knew that when you drafted him. Unless you were going to change your offense to his style of play, which Jeff Fisher was not going to do, then you knew it. You knew he wasn't ready. So all you LA Ram fans that thought, oh, he's going to come in and do Jameis Winston, or he's going to come in and be Andrew. No, he's not. Both these 1 and 2 picks are not coming in and being any of those players, because they're both not pro ready for two different reasons. Wentz, you kind of disappointed me, especially with the overthrows. I know you were excited. It's your first preseason game. I'm not going to kill you over it. You did show you could make all the throws. I would be more excited in Philadelphia than I am in LA at this point, though, because once his footwork's good, he's got arm strength, he's mobile. He looked better. All right, we got Bosa. That's not even in training camp, because he thinks that he's going to make the Chargers change how they do things, and the Chargers don't change how they do things. They're going to, and I mean, the collective bargaining agreement has, this is what you're going to make, dude. That's it. You're not going against the NFL and winning. That's just how it is. The NFL, I'm sorry, Players Union, out of all the major sports, is a joke. You're going to get the money that is allowed to you, and you're going to get it the way that San Diego wants to pay for it. They don't want to give it to you up front. They want to give it more towards the end. It gives them more money for salary. They can pick up free agents, whatever. You're not going to get your money. All right. So, out of the two quarterback, Eagles and LA, I like the Eagles situation better. Bradford, you got a starting position probably unless the Eagles aren't in the playoff hunt late in the season. You're safe. I don't hate Bradford. I think he's a Chad Pennington. He's a soft quarterback, but he's good. He's a good quarterback. You got to remember, the guy has skills. He's just fragile. You don't know if you're going to get him for 16 weeks of the year, which would be good for Wentz. So he could come in. Daniels, I was not impressed with. I was impressed with your mobility, but that's it. Now, let's go to another rookie quarterback for Dallas. Prescott, I was totally impressed. the guy you could make the throws. You were good under center. You knew the offense, making audibles. That was a very good pick for the Cowboys. I hate to give the Cowboys any type of respect, but it's still Tony Romo's team. But now if he goes down, they don't have to worry about it. This guy, he's mobile, he's smart, he knows the offense. You can tell he really knows the offense. Like, he got drafted, he got the playbook, and this guy must have studied it because he knew what he was doing. And he was making tough throws. I mean, that back shoulder throw is one of the hardest throws in the NFL. Not too many quarterbacks can make that throw. Tony Romo can't even make that throw. And he was very accurate and very on. And his 2 incompletions were drop passes. Just want to let everybody know that. Like, the guy, he was good in college. He was in the SEC, of course. But he didn't play that much under center. Well, because they were behind a lot. But he looked good. So I give him a thumbs up on that one. That was good. I watched every preseason game. I mean, everyone. So I'm gonna tell you who impressed me. He has no fantasy value right now. None of the people I just said have any fantasy value at all. I don't see any of them playing, barring injury or, like I said, they're out of the playoff hunt. But if Tony Romo does get hurt, I would run and get him off the waiver. I would get him as a free agent as soon as if Tony Romo is doubtful. If he's even doubtful. If you have Tony Romo and he's doubtful, get this guy. Who else impressed me? Terrell Pryor. He's not a rookie, no. But it looks like him and Griffin have this chemistry. Griffin kind of trusts him. He does. He's got nice hands, too. And he's big and he's got speed. And Corey Coleman wasn't in the game. Of course he wasn't in the game. But when Corey Coleman comes back, you know in college, Corey Coleman only ran 2 patterns. So you have these two, you're going to have these 2 fast, dynamic receivers. And, God, when Gordon comes back, it looks like they're going to be good. But you know Griffin has the habit of feeding the guy that he has chemistry with a lot. I mean, he had Garcon, the leading receiver in the NFL. And, you know, I see Corey Coleman being a bigger Jackson, you know. So he's going to be a game breaker. You're going to see probably, like, screen passes to him. And, you know, Terrell Pryor is going to be to the outside. He's big. He's going to be the more, like, I'm going to toss it to him. 50-50 balls are definitely going to go to him. Well, I don't know if he's going to win them all, but I know that Griffin's going to toss it up to him more than, you know, he's going to do with when he's in trouble, he's going to look for Terrell Pryor more than he's going to look for Corey Coleman because, you know, Corey Coleman's a smaller receiver. I mean, even though he's over 6 foot, he's still, you know, not. He doesn't have a big wingspan like Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor is huge, dude. What is he, like 6'4", 6'5", something like that? And he runs a 4.3 40, so he's got a long wingspan. It looks like they're going to be all right. I don't like their running back situation. I don't know who's going to start with them, but it looks like Griffin might put up some numbers this year. I would say if Griffin's not taken in like the 10th round, that's where I seen in most fantasy drafts. Like, the average for Griffin is the 10th round, 11th round. He's definitely not a number 1 right now, but we will see he might end up as one of the highest quarterbacks this year because of his running skills and all that. But we'll see. He's going to run the ball a lot because they don't have a good offensive line and they don't have a running game. So he's going to run. Is he going to stay healthy? We don't know. But that's beyond the point. Let me see. Seattle, Boykin. The funny thing about Boykin, he looked more comfortable. TCU product. Andy Dalton's probably like, yeah. But he looked comfortable under center than I thought he would. He really looked, you know, the part. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but it showed that he has skills and he might be worth, another team looking for a backup quarterback. Uh, who else did I like? I like rookie wise that I've seen. I like Jack. He looked good. He did his thing. I mean, of course, the guy's a freak athlete. I don't know if he's going to play outside or middle for them. They're going to have to figure out what's the best fit. He's going to be on the field all the time. I like him more as a middle linebacker, and then, a coverage. He's also a good coverage linebacker. That's the dilemma you have with him. Where are you going to play him? But he's good. Fouls. He's not a rookie. He was driving. This is basically his rookie year. He was good. That defense is going to be good. I would have liked to see Ramsey play, but he didn't play. Handgraves for Tampa. I wasn't impressed. He got burnt twice. And it was both times on press coverage. So I'm going to have to see more for him. Right now, he's going to be the nickel corner. Eli Apple. I was impressed. He got a lot of playing time. You've seen him a lot on the field. He did get a couple of catches on him. He did break up a couple of passes. He looked good. Shepard, the rookie wide receiver for the Giants, he didn't get the separation I thought he was going to get. He looked good. He has hands. Also, he was playing with a second-string quarterback that never really gets on the field. Eli Manning is, the guy is Mr. Reliable. I like to see him and Eli's chemistry. Odell Beckham. He's gonna be lined up rather in the slot or the number 2 receiver on the other side. So he's going to be going against subpar talent on the side that he's going to be playing on, and where he's going to be playing. Not subpar, but he's not going to be going against the best talent on the team when he plays. So he should thrive. I think he's going to be more of a big play. I mean, if his speed, if I see more on the speed end with him later on. Right now, I didn't really see that. Maybe he was more worried about running the patterns 100% correctly and not really burning his speed out like I seen in college. But you're not going to see the same speed these players have unless you're like, a Chris Henry or something like that coming out of college with like freakish speed. This guy has 4.40 time. It should show, but there's a lot of players in the NFL that have that speed. So really it's about technique and getting off the ball in the NFL to show your true speed when you're a wide receiver. So maybe he has to work on that. I know he's been impressing in mini camps and all that, in training camp, but right up now I was impressed of his hands. Yes, they were good, but his separation I wasn't really impressed with. And then there was a catch he could have got that he overran the ball. You got to judge that better. The play down the middle, the quarterback put it. They threw it all on the quarterback. He put it in the right spot. He threw it high and towards the middle of the field, so his receiver could get a play of the ball. But he just kept running, and the ball wound up behind him and to the left and high. But that's like a jump ball situation because he didn't have the guy burned. The guy was running step for step for him, so you kind of want your receiver to make a play on the ball, and it was a good throw. I just think he just misread it and he overran it. So that's what I think about that. Now, other quarterback situations that we're keeping a key look on in this preseason, we're looking at Osweiler for Houston, which he just looked bad. I mean, we know the guy's got strong arm. He's mobile. It just looked like bad decision making. I'm not going to kill him because it was the first preseason game in a new offense, but he just didn't look good. Maybe they're going to keep it down. It's just like his ball placement was bad, and I think his decision on passes were bad. But it's like I said, it's the first preseason game. I'm not going to kill him on that. Sanchez. The the whole Denver quarterback situation is bad. I think Paxton Lynch was a bad decision. The second string, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. I'm not even gonna try. And then you got Sanchez is bad, and then Paxton Lynch bad decision. All three of them is just, I don't see none of them real NFL starting quarterbacks. That defense is going to be on the field a lot. I don't know why is everybody talking about their running game. They did not have a running game last year. It's the same running backs that they had. They've got a rookie that they're talking about that. Okay, maybe he will be better, but it's the same. They lost talent on the offensive line. They didn't gain anything. I don't see it being better. I see if they're going to win a lot of games, it's going to be 10-7 or it's going to be low scoring. They're not going to. I say they might average 15, 16 points a game. I don't see them averaging over 20. I don't see them putting consistently 21 points on the board. I don't see them scoring 3 touchdowns. The only person worth getting on that team fantasy-wise until other notice is their field goal kicker. So this is what I think about your quarterback situation in Denver. John Elway, what are you thinking? Next, let's go to San Francisco's quarterback situation. This is the funniest one to me. I think Kaepernick has won the job, and he's not even. You're probably not even going to see him that much. I think that Chip Kelly's got his eye like it's Kaepernick, it's Kaepernick, it's Kaepernick. He likes Kaepernick. I mean, the system is a real simple system. You have to make 2 throws. You have to make a crossing pattern throw, and you have to make a deep throw. That's it, and screens. It's real system, just fast paced and puts the defense in stress. Dwayne Gabbert, you looked horrible. I mean, you couldn't make any throws. Your touchdown pass, the guy was wide open. There was nobody around him. But that's what that's not what that defense. That's what that offense does. It puts stress on the defense that you have to be in the right spot every single play, because if you're not, someone's going to be wide open because they're just moving at such a fast pace that you have to know your assignments. And it just puts the offense is being real simple, but they're moving fast. So you have to be consistent in your defense, and they just, the dude was wide open. That was my cat. He's a Idris Allen's Dumbledore. What a pain in the butt. He just wanted some camera time. So, Gabbert, you look bad. What impressed me was San Francisco's defense. It looks like, but they're going to be on the field a lot. We know that. They need more depth, and that's it for that. I mean, they can go 9-7, but it's a tough division that they're in. So we'll see how that goes. I was impressed with Henry for Tennessee Titans, but you don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball like that in the regular season, because really, we got to see what the receiver core looks like. It looks like it's better from last year. They did have some free agent signings, but that's all on paper. We got to see how Mariota and them gel. You got to see, is Mariota going to step up this year? They're going to face a lot of 8 in the box. And my fantasy value for both those running backs is, they're both late round. You'll probably be able to get, if you have a 16-round draft, you probably get them both in the 16th round. If you're going to draft one of them, draft the other one, because they're probably going to split carries, like legit be like a running back by committee. I don't see them winning a lot of games this year. I mean, everybody in their division has gotten better. I gotta say, I hope they do good. It's a very tricky, sticky situation they have right there. They need more weapons on offense, but we'll see how it goes. I'm a fan of Mariota. I hope he does well. Of course, I think Jameis Winston's the better quarterback, but it'll be good um, for the NFL, for Mariota to do good. Uh, I like Tennessee's. I like Tennessee's defense a little bit. Their defensive line is pretty good, but that division is tough. You got Luck. You got Houston. You got Jake Bortles. That's a very young division with very young players. Jacksonville, between Jacksonville, Houston, and Indy, I think those are the top three in the division. I don't. Tennessee, it's rough for you, man. You're on the bottom of that division. That you're gonna go through. They're gonna go through a lot of coaching changes because they're gonna be. They're just not gonna be the top of that division. I know Indy was bad last year, but Luck was hurt for most of the year, so I can't really judge Indianapolis on last year. They're gonna be. They were number one in that division for years in a row because they have the they got the talent on the team. I would have liked them to do more in this offseason to shore up their defense, but I mean, you have Andrew Luck as quarterback. I know he had an off year. He was injured, but he's going to come back and be good. All right? So, I mean, Indianapolis, don't worry. Even though Jacksonville is going to take a big step up this year, they still have a whole bunch of... I'm not a fan... I mean, they got... Jacksonville got Ivory, so I was never a real fan of Yeldon. I don't even know why they drafted Yeldon, because it's like they're not even trying to give Robinson a chance. This guy, like, when he was 2 years ago running back, he was averaging like 5.5 yards a carry. The only games that he started that he didn't get 100 yards were the games that he got hurt. I mean, the guy's a game breaker. I won't mind seeing him in Tampa. The guy's good. They just seems like they don't want to give Bernard Robinson a chance. Give a brother a chance. He's good. He did his thing, and with the poor offensive line when they were really bad, he was doing his thing. So I don't. Maybe because they don't feel like he could be 25 carries a game or something like that. But I mean, like, the rarity of a running back in the NFL nowadays that you're going to give the ball 25 times a game is like very nil. I mean, you got Muscle Hamster, you got Adrian Peterson, and then Murray for if they're up enough. You got him for the Raiders. But who else? Who else is getting the ball 25 times a game? Nobody. So give him 15 touches a game, but they won't. And he'll die off and his career will be over. But I like him. I thought he did good 2 years ago, and that, now he's the third running back on that team, which is weird. And Yeldon's not even good. I don't even think Yeldon's good. Let's talk about people that are going to step up. This is the now we're going to go talk about fantasy here. Strictly fantasy. People I think that's going to step up this year that had a bad year last year. I think Melvin Gordon, San Diego running back, I think this is the year he steps up. Remember, in college he was in a more of a pro-style offense than he is in San Diego. San Diego takes a lot of snaps in the shotgun. So and their offensive line had bad injuries all year long. This year he's been in the system for more than a year. I think the average round he's going in is 10 and 11, between 10 and 11. You could probably get him later, especially in like a PPR league, because they're going to take Woodhead first. But I think you're gonna see the exchange from Woodhead to him this year. I think he's been working a lot on catching the ball out the backfield. He's been, he's in the system for a year. The guy's got the tools to be a good running back. He's big. He's fast. he's got decent hands. I'm not saying he's got good like Woodhead, but he doesn't have to on passing downs. He doesn't have to be off the field. So I think he's gonna have a big step up. He will score a touchdown in week 1. I guarantee it. Good thing about him, daily fantasy, you could get him cheap in a daily. Like if you do like I do FanDuel. So daily fantasy, you can get him cheap, and then like if you really don't trust him, you get another. You'll probably get him for like super cheap, where you could spend the super amount of money on a super talented, guaranteed. I'm going to get the ball, and I'm going to score touchdowns running back. Fantasy, he is going to have a good value, I think, especially when you get him. And towards the end of the year, you're going to see, like, when it comes playoff time, I guarantee you draft him, he'll be in your starting lineup. My sleepers, I have a couple of sleepers that are good values that you should jump on. Like I said, Terrell Pryor, you need to jump on him. You're going to probably get him in the last round or whatnot. You can get him anywhere. I have him in my first draft that I did this year, but it stunk because he's underneath quarterback. So they need to like CBS Sports. You need to fix your fantasy thing. You need to move him to wide receiver, please. Thank you. Do that ASAP. So, but I'm lucky because it's a 2 quarterback league. Well, it was my second draft. It's a 2 quarterback league, so I drafted 2 quarterbacks, which I'm not really impressed with. And then I got him in the last round. So whenever they change that, I can move him to receiver, and he'll be on my bench. Another player, I think, quarterback rise, a good, like if you want to stack your running back positions and your wide receiver positions, and then think about quarterback. You got Eli Manning going in the average of the 9th and 10th round right now in fantasy. I think in my last draft he went in the 13th round. The thing about Eli is he's gonna put up good numbers all year, and then that 1 week you need him to put up numbers, he's not. I had him last year. I don't have him in any of my teams this year, but I have Big Ben, which is he's gonna kill as long as he stays healthy. But Eli is a good value pick where he's going. You got a lot of quarterbacks going ahead of him that like I don't even understand why. You have Osweiler going ahead of him in most drafts than Eli. Like I think the average draft position of Osweiler is like the 7th and 8th round. In 7th and 8th round, if I don't have a quarterback yet, I'm not even thinking about a quarterback because I know I could get good value quarterbacks later, like the Eli Mannings, the Jameis Winstons, the Robert Griffin, like Robert Griffin. I could get those players later that nobody else is even probably going to think about drafting. So I'm thinking about stocking up on my defense or getting a good tight end or getting that sleeper pick. I love grabbing my sleepers in the 7th and 8th round because that's when no one's like really expecting. That's when you're looking for a good value, a good backup. Like how I do my draft, I try to get all my starters except for my quarterback because I know the quarterbacks that I'm usually looking for, unless I can get like a great value. Like if I'm in the 7th round and we got Ben Roethlisberger sitting there, or we got Tom Brady sitting there, then I'm going to grab them because that's a great value. Like, I'm not going to get someone that's going to put those points up like they're going to put up in that position, and I'm not going to get someone that's that dominant in their position to, overcome. Like, I'm not going to have a guy that's averaging 3 more points than the average wide receiver. No. I'm going to get the guy that's averaging probably like 1 or 2 points more than a wide receiver, or I'm going to get the guy that's just like a value consistent guy that, he puts up 9, 10, points consistently every week, and then hopefully he gets a touchdown and it puts him ahead. But if you can get that value, that's why if they're not there and it's my pick in the 7th, 8th round, I'm going to go with my sleeper pick because that's the guy that hopefully the only week he's on my bench is week 1, and then I'm putting him in, I'm plugging him in. I kind of flopped on my sleeper last year. I'm normally Rob. Ask my man Rob. I'm normally good with my sleeper picks. They're usually the best picks I have sometimes. I hate it. But last year, Amendola, you were a flop. This year, they say they're going to give you the ball more. So hopefully we'll see how that turns out. Also, for the Giants, a good value pick in the late round is Jennings. He's, the guy had 800 yards rushing last year. They should run the ball more and better consistency because that offensive line has now been together for a while. And the formula for winning in New York is run the ball. This running back by committee, yeah, they're going to do it. But, like, the other running backs, the talent, like, the all-around talent, like, Williams is like, he's going to run you over. He's not running past you or anything like that. Like, Jennings, he's not catching the ball out the backfield. Vereen, the same thing. Vereen is not really a running back. He's more of a pass catcher out the backfield. And Jennings is, out of all those running backs, he's like the all three. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run you over. He can be power. He can be nimble. Thing about it, he doesn't really have game breaker speed, but he can do it all the. He's not great at one area and he's not bad at one area. So I feel like he'll get the ball probably like 15 to 20 carries a game, maybe 20 touches combined with passes and all that. But he's a good value. I think Famous Jameis is a good value in the late rounds. He's going really late. The guy only had over 4,000 yards passing last year and, over 20 touchdown passes, 22 and 6 rushing touchdowns. So the guy that he's probably most likely going to go higher this year because it's the second year in the offense, second year with his talent, the receivers. I think Muscle Hamster's going to have a step down, so they're going to pass the ball more. You can't judge a running back on his contract year. Of course he's going to run the best he's ran in his career. He wants a big contract. And Muscle Hamster did that. He fooled us in his rookie year. Is he going to fool us again this year? Is he not going to do anything? Is Taple going to have to pass the ball a lot? I believe so. I don't think I don't see Muscle Hamster getting 1,000 yards rushing this year. If he does, I'll be happy. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but I'm just being realistic. And he's getting drafted He's getting drafted in the average of the first round this year. Crazy. I wouldn't draft if I had the 10th pick in the first round, and it's between Muscle Hamster or Allen Robinson. I'm getting Allen Robinson. That's it. That guy is better. I want him other than, and I believe I did that in one draft. Oh, I was like the 8th pick. No, I got Johnson, the running back for Arizona. I got him with the 8th pick, which was a good value pick because the first 7 picks were wide receivers. I was like, what is going on? But that's what you're seeing, a big trend in that in fantasy, is that receivers are going in the first round more than running backs, which it's a pass-happy league. But when the cold months come, those receivers' stats go. You saw it last year. The receivers' stats start going back to earth, and the running back stats go high. So it's like, you got to find a medium. You got to stack. You got to get good running backs. You got to. And there's not that many good running backs that are getting 25 carries. Like I said, they're not getting 25 carries a game like they used to. So you got to start. You got to get that one running back that you believe is going to touch the ball more than everybody else on the team. Receivers need to touch the ball less to get 100 yards. Running backs got to get the ball more times to get 100 yards. And who's those running backs in the first round? That is up to you. Rawls is a good pick. He's averaging like 5th and 6th round, which that's where he should be. If you have the 5th and in the 5th and 6th round and you don't have a number 1 running back, I think by the end of the year he's going to have number 1 running back stats. because that's what they do there in Seattle. They run the ball, though. Last year they were able. Their passing game stepped up. They're gonna run the ball a lot, and then they're gonna play off the run. That's just it. I see them being like the closest to 50-50 running and passing. Russell Wilson, he's good. Of course he's good. He's showed that he's, stepped up every year. Every year he's gotten better. Right now he is the second quarterback being taken. Guess who's number one? Yeah, Cam Newton. All right. Cam Newton's going to have a good year. I hate to say it because, I'm a Buccaneer fan and he's in Carolina. He got Calvin Benjamin back, which Calvin Benjamin being back drops Craig Olsen's value greatly. It drops his value greatly because now you're going to have to, and where Greg Olsen was getting 90% of the looks in the red zone when they were passing it last year, it's going to go there. I mean, they're going to throw that fade pattern probably like almost every time they're at the 3-yard line because it's going to be hard to stop it. The dude's a freak, size-wise, hands-wise. The funny thing about him, Calvin Benjamin is being drafted in like the 5th round. I've been seeing like constant 5th round. To me, I would draft him before I would draft Jordy Nelson right now. Right now I would. Because Green Bay is going to pass the ball around more. In Carolina, it's Calvin Benjamin and Craig Olsen. That's it. The other receivers they're not good. So they're going to feed the ball in the passing game to those two. That's it. So Jordy Nelson's coming off of, they're both coming off of injuries, but one is younger than the other one. So I mean, Jordy Nelson's going average in the 2nd round. He's going in the 2nd round. If it was Mike Evans or Jordy Nelson in the 2nd round, I would go with Mike Evans. But Mike Evans is going in the 3rd round. Well, Jordy Nelson is going in the 2nd round, and Marshall is going in the 3rd round. And Jordy, I don't understand how. I guess people have a lot of faith in Jordy Nelson to be taking him in the 2nd round, like consistently. Like, I personally, I wouldn't take him in the 2nd round. Like, there's too much value. I might even take. I normally never do, but if I had a decision to make and taking a quarterback in the 2nd round and it was Cam Newton and Russell Wilson and and they're there and they're I would probably, if I had like the number 1 overall pick, so in the 2nd round I have the last pick, I would probably take them over Jordy. Yeah, I definitely would take them over Jordy. Aaron Rodgers, because Jordy Nelson's back. He is back into late 1st round, 2nd round picks. Yeah, I mean, people say he's the best quarterback in NFL. I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe the hype. I mean, he's top 5 quarterbacks, but, you still got Tom Brady, and you got the step up of Cam Newton. It just seems like how everybody has elevated their game. Aaron Rodgers he's a great quarterback, but he has leveled out. Like, it's like we've seen the peak of Aaron Rodgers' skill sets. Like, this is what you're going to expect from him. He's always going to be a 4,500, 35 to 40 touchdown a year guy. That's what you're going to see from him, which is good. Those are great stats, not going to lie, but, Eli Manning puts those stats up too. Just saying. They both play in cold weather, so it's not like in December they're flinging the ball for 600 yards, 500, 600 yards in, Green Bay and New York. That's not happening. Value picks. I'm trying to think. I mean, really, if it counts what kind of league you're in. Value pick, if you're in a defensive player league, would be Jack. I think he's going to lead he's going to lead his team in tackles. He's going to get a lot of He's going to be in the pass game. He's going to be in the field a lot. So he's a good value pick. He if you're you can probably get him in the last round, and he'll probably average like it counts what type of league you're in, where you get half a point for tackles and a point for tackle for loss and 2 points for a sack for your player. I think he's gonna fill up the stat sheet, so he's gonna be a good guy. PPR league running backs. Of course, I think Carlos Hyde, that moves him up because of the offense he's in. He's going to be up there high. I would grab him in the second round if I could. If I'm in a PPR league, Chip Kelly loves doing passes to the running back, and really there's only like one running back out of San Francisco, and they might be down a lot, so he'll get a lot of catches. The running back situation in Philadelphia is kind of tricky because Darren Sproles is a better fit, I think, for the system, the Kansas City type system they're going to be running. I can't even say that because, I mean, that's a toss-up situation. I can't really say. Running back, if you're going to draft any running back on Miami, it's going to be Foster because obviously he's going to start. That other guy is not. And Arian Foster could catch the ball. He could do, he's the better running back, better size. He's just fragile. What's funny is Le'Veon Bell is not even playing the first 4 games of the season, and he is still being taken number 2 overall. Like, that is his average. This is the average players. These are what the players are being taken. It is Antonio Brown, 1, Le'Veon Bell, 2, Odell Beckham Jr., Julio Jones, even got what's his name going in the first round. I mean, you have all these receivers in the first round on average, and Le'Veon Bell, the first 5 picks, or 4 receivers and Bell. I would not like to take him if I had the number 2 pick. I would probably take Peterson because Brown's going to be gone. Because he's going to be there all year. The guy's going to get the ball 25 times a game, and he's going to be there all year long. Treadwell also is a good value pick to get. He's being taken late. They really don't have Diggs had a good rookie year. He kind of had a 4-game stretch where he showed that he could play in the NFL and he's going to be good. But I think Treadwell's going to be the better receiver. He's going to be more constant. He's got the size. I don't care what his 40 speed was. Anquan Bolden ran a poor 40 in the combine. Look at his career. The guy's he's probably going to finish this year as the 5th or 6th, all-time leading pass catcher in the NFL. So that's a good thing. I mean, he gets no respect for his career. This guy has had. All right, I'm done. That was my fantasy part. I'm done talking about fantasy. Now let's talk about Anquan Bolden. This guy has been Mr. Consistent. When he first came in the league, he was a game breaker. The guy, 60, 70-yard touchdown passes, but he was, he can block, he can do everything. Now this is later in his career, and he's like the crossing pattern king. The guy, he might not be running full speed when he's running his crossing pattern because he's looking to see if it's zone or man, and if it's man, he's going to increase the depth to give him more, space, a bigger space for you to throw where he can run under or make a play on the ball. If it's zone, he's running slower so he can sit in the zone. The guy, he blocks, he catches the ball over the middle. It's like he gets no respect. He has over 1,000 catches. Remember, he was the fastest person to 400 catches in NFL history. He was the fastest person to 200. The guy Mr. Not talked about. I mean, everybody remembers Hines Ward. Hines Ward wishes he had the talent. Anquan Bolden is a way more talented Hines Ward. Way more talented. The guy's tough. You never hear anything bad about him.